Good afternoon. Coach Kelly here with one of my very best training clients, Omar Orlena. He and I have been working together on the training side for about a year and a half. What we're going to go through this afternoon is a formal nutrition coaching session. I want to give you just a little bit of background first. I want to let Omar, say his 2 cents as well. When we first met, he was a one-man show. He does custom high-end home renovations, but he was largely doing everything himself, hiring out different contractors. He was managing the whole show, and he had so much on his plate that his stress and anxiety it was spilling over. He needed help. And I told him one of our early sessions, I said, dude, you've got to hire some help. You've got to take some of the stress off you because it's just gonna wear you out. So over the last year and a half, we've been training consistently. He has hired those layers of support, and his company is in a whole different place today. But we still have not put the emphasis on nutrition that we need to, and it's time to get that done. So, Omar, do you have anything that you want to add to that? And then we're gonna jump in.
Thank you, Kelly, for having me. It's awesome. It's truly been a blessing to work with you the past year and a half with my fitness and my health. It truly helped me combat my anxiety, my stress levels, with my high volatile work job force that I have. I've finally been able to create some space, like you mentioned, to be able to actually focus on another aspect of my life, which is my health. Myself, myself being overweight, unhealthy, with high stress, and eating bad foods, and eating on the go, and not having a maintenance schedule of a diet has really affected my health. I feel good from the working out aspect of it, but the health is the next step in my phase of business.
So we've got some work to do.
Yes, sir.
So I want to give you all just a little bit of framework when I work with clients. I use an analogy of how do you build a puzzle? You build a puzzle one piece at a time. So I have built Omar's plan. Y'all can't see that on the computer, but it just won't all fit in one screen. I have built his plan way back when, and when we've loosely followed it. I mean, he's done his best over time, but again, we're wanting to ramp up that now. But in the spirit of building a puzzle, when I give someone a nutrition plan, I don't ever expect them to just execute, to go from where they were to executing on that plan to 100%. It doesn't take 100% in the first place. If we can shoot around 90% compliant, that will crush your goals. In the spirit of one puzzle piece at a time, what I want to do this afternoon is go back through the last iteration that I gave him, which was a few months ago. We're going to walk through this, make any changes as need. I'm taking notes. I'll go and do that homework later, but then I'm looking for what our action step today is, the one piece that I'm going to hold him accountable for moving forward. And I like 2-week blocks for accountability, because 2 weeks is long enough to see change. 2 weeks is long enough to see change. If you're not seeing the changes you're seeking in 2 weeks, you got to analyze your processes. Are you actually doing what you're supposed to be doing? And if you are, then we need to tweak the processes. If you're not, it's a different conversation.
Yes.
So here we go. So are we still using the Orgain, or have we switched to something else?
Yes, we continue using the Orgain protein.
So with your morning shake, are you okay with this as it's structured?
Yes, it's very delicious.
That is okay?
Yes, it's...
So, timing wise, because I know that when we train at 8 o'clock in the morning. Just looking over the scope of the week, how consistent are you getting the shake in, and the timing of the shake? I mean, and even before with our workouts, are we having this after you go back home to take a shower, or where's this fitting in?
So on times when I work out with you, which is on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock, I usually have the shake right after a workout. I'm getting home around 9:30, and then I have a window from 9:30 to 10:30 to eat that shake. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's based upon my schedule and availability, so I'll have the shake anywhere from either 7:30 in the morning to 10 a.m. depending on how my work schedule is.
Okay.
So
So that's Monday through Friday. What about on Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday, sometimes the consistency, I tend to have them during lunchtime because I come to the gym around like 10, 11, so it's more around, I have the shake for lunch Saturdays and Sundays.
So your first nutrition on the weekends may not be until midday,
Exactly.
which puts you upside down on getting everything that you need for the day.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about the weekends in a second. So Monday through Friday, whether it's post-workout with me or depending on your work schedule on other days, how confident do you feel that you can get that in?
Monday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty consistent between a 7 to 10 o'clock window
Okay.
on Monday to Friday.
So if you were to miss that shake, what's the weak link? What's driving that?
If I was to miss that shake,
Like when you do, and sometimes you do, why? I mean, why do you miss?
work meetings, an emergency or, a situation with a client that I had to take care of. But more likely it's mostly, I'm pretty consistent.
Okay, so we're pretty good on
We're
that.
pretty consistent on that.
So what about the weekends then? Because if you're to train on Saturday and Sunday, I know it's not carved in stone, but on average, kind of what time would you typically be getting here?
10 o'clock.
So if you to get up and have that shake earlier and like have a couple hours of spread for that to sit on your stomach, then to be able to train after that, what would that look like?
That's more feasible. That would be more feasible.
You'd
Yes.
feel better in the gym to have some food in you earlier.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
So what do you think about that?
Be more accountable and take my protein on the weekends early in the morning. That would
Deal.
definitely help.
So Monday through Friday, we're pretty good. And then on Saturday and Sunday, that's a new behavior to be. Now part of that is sleep. I mean, you gotta get up to have the shake. I mean,
Yes, sir.
there's a lot of moving parts there. Okay, so I'm gonna say pretty good workout. And then after you train on the weekends, it's going home and having lunch, or I mean, either going home or going out to have lunch.
Exactly.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
What do y'all typically do more on the weekends? Do you go home for lunch or do you go out to eat?
So every other Saturday I have to work for work. So I either come into the gym at 10 and then I go pack my bag here. If there's a meal prep lunch ready for me that I've prepped for the week already throughout the week, I'll have that for lunch at the gym on the car ride to my other job. If I'm spending time with my wife and we have usually have plans to lunch, it starts around like 1 o'clock.
Okay, and that's fine.
So yes.
So if you're having that shake and then you're training and then transitioning to go to whether it's at home and or out, okay. So let's look at your lunch as I have it planned. So his overall plan is only 4 meals a day. We have that breakfast shake, we have a lunch, we have an afternoon, what I call a mini meal. I used to call those snacks, but people tend to trivialize the value of snack like it's not really that important. It's actually really, really important. So I switched out all those mini meals. But he does have an afternoon mini meal, and then we have dinner. Lunch and dinner are identical. So let's just go through this. As I have it planned for you, how close do you think that y'all are following? Because I know you do your meal prep under normal circumstances. I've given you 10 ounces uncooked or 8 ounces cooked of whatever protein you want to have.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting in that lunch?
Yes, sir. So my meal preps, usually we prepare meal preps on Sunday.
Okay.
We make our meals to give enough food for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesdays, my lunch are the portions is, the 2 palm-sized portions of protein, 2 cups of veggies, and then a handful of carbs, 2/3 of a cup of carbs.
What do you typically do for your carbs?
Mixed veggies we use for carbs. I do 2/3 of a cup of brown rice.
Okay, that's easy.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing for your fat?
For my fat, I usually get 2 slices of avocado and put it in there, and then I have some hot sauce with it,
Okay.
some sriracha or I have some lemon juice on there.
Now, given the chaos that is your daily schedule, how are we doing with that meal?
So I've actually gotten really good at practicing with the breakfast and the lunch Monday through Wednesday because we have the meal preps planned for those 3 days. The part where I'm lacking is cooking on Wednesday evening to get Thursday, Friday, and Saturday taken care of.
Okay.
So it's the front end of the of the nutrition of the beginning of the week is really good, solid from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday where I start feeling them start not being as disciplined as I am on the meals.
So you really have two choices.
Yes, sir.
You either do the meal prep cooking on Wednesday night, or you do more on the weekend to tide you over for the week.
Yes, sir.
Which you think is the better play?
Well, I think prepping for the whole week for Monday through Friday would be better on a Sunday to do that. It's just that's something that I have to accommodate with my wife to plan and execute on.
So one thing that I teach all of my clients, and this applies to everybody, that you wake up every day with your willpower. Your willpower is like a battery, and you wake up every day with a full charge. And as the day goes, so goes your willpower. And by the end of the day, it's like the cell phone, the battery on your cell phone, by the end of the day, you're on fumes. So you've worked, and he works insane days, long days, traveling all over the place, managing different projects. You come home at 7 o'clock at night, and the idea at that point of meal prepping for another couple, 2 or 3 days, I don't see that being a good scenario because you're tired. You don't feel like doing that.
Not feasible.
So to take advantage of your weekend window and spend, I'm thinking, the time it takes to prep for 3 meals, to prep for the extra couple of days, that's a little bit of an extension. I think that would be your better play.
Yes, sir.
That would set you up.
Well, let's do it. I agree.
Okay. So that's your meal prepping lunch and dinner, or just lunch?
We're preparing lunch.
Okay.
We're prepping lunch.
So, hold on. So we're gonna add to your weekend meal prep.
That's Monday to Friday.
Okay. So what about dinner Monday through Friday? How? Because again, portions are the same. How are we doing on that?
I work long hours throughout the day. We don't meal prep our lunches, our dinners on Sundays. So I let my wife, Erica, handle all the dinner plans on that part. She gets off work earlier. She gets off at 5. I get home around 7, 7:30. So I'm eating dinner probably around 8 o'clock, and she cooks dinner every day on that part.
How close? I know she's very health conscious as well. How closely do you feel like you're staying on track with that based on what she's doing?
3 days out of the week, I'm eating. She's making the standard: the chicken, the veggies, the fish, the rice, and the veg. The other 2-3 days of the week, she creates a healthy concoction of meals for herself for us to try to keep it interesting as well. But tries to keep a balance to what my meal prep is.
And that's really I went through a consult with the young lady this morning, and I had built her plan, but then we were looking at Lifetime has a recipe book. It's from our recent 60-day, 147 long PDF, 147 long page, or 147 pages, good grief. But we were going through that, and she was asking me, how do I integrate this meal or this meal or this meal into the portions that you gave me? And it really wasn't that hard. It really wasn't that hard. So there's no reason why I've just given you portions here. You can, how you cook it and what the protein is and what the veggies are. You've got a lot of latitude with what I've created. So
Yes, sir.
you think that's okay?
That's feasible. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we jumped a step. Let's back up to that little afternoon mini meal. So now I gave you 2 protein bars for convenience, but that could be another shake as well.
Absolutely.
So how are we doing on that?
So, my job, moving from job to job, we are in the DFW Metroplex area. I work in the Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, Allen McKinney area. Driving sometimes, everyone loves a nice cold shake, but sometimes it's not attainable because I'm on the go.
Right.
So what I usually like to do is I'll pack a cold water bottle with my 2 scoops of protein in a Ziploc baggie, mix it into there and shake it up and drink it as my afternoon snack. If I forget to pack it that day, to be honest, we're all human. I probably have that afternoon shake 3 times a week, 2 times a week. There are times I can stop at the store. There's a gas station there where they sell Quest bars, protein bars that I usually go in there. I'll grab 1 or 2, pick up a water bottle, and then make that effort. I got to get gas at some point, so I try to make an effort.
So in terms of cleanness, I think that the shake gives you the highest quality nutrition. I plug the bars in more because they're the most convenient, because no prep required. You just have to remember to bring them with you. What if you did a combination of both throughout the week, so that you're not always having to make a shake every day and bring it with you? I mean, what if you kind of split the difference?
That's actually, yeah, that works.
So when you said 2 scoops of protein powder, so there's 40 grams of protein represented there.
Mm-hmm.
2 scoops of protein powder is only 20 grams of protein. So if you're only doing 2, if you're having the shake in the afternoon, if you want to, replace the bars, it needs to be the same serving size as what you're having in the morning.
Yes.
So it's 4 scoops, it's not 2.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you having that with water is okay? I mean, the taste of that is okay?
It's fine.
Okay. How are you carrying the 2 scoops, like in a little Tupperware container, or?
Ziplocs.
There you go.
Yeah. Ziploc bag, and then I have a shaker, protein shaker, and then I have water bottles because my truck has a cooler. So I'll do water bottles and then just mix it up and have it on the go.
So, what's the biggest reason why you're wanting to get this done now? I mean, what's sparking our conversation today?
So a reason why I focus so much on physical fitness and being committed to working out, from having a healthy wife who's lost weight and has achieved success in fitness and health, and then having Kelly as an awesome trainer assisting me through workouts. My next goal is, what I look forward to taking care of myself, is hopefully to have a child one day. So I know now, with the fertility rates so high, and the male's health has a lot to do with creating an offspring as well. So my main focus is not just for myself, but it's to be here a long time, to be able to enjoy with my kids and my wife and my peers around me on that part.
So the reason why I ask him that is because anytime that you're making change in your life, a significant change in your life, it's going to be hard. And beyond the excitement and of the initial decision, which that can be easy enough to do, then the real work sets in, and that's when it can get kind of hard, and there's going to be days that you don't feel like it. I wrote a blog a few years ago entitled, "If Your Why is Big Enough, ... the answer is the facts don't count." And you wanting to have a family and be the best that you can be health-wise for your family, that's a pretty big why. But you need to remind yourself of that every day. And to the point of having sticky notes in your bathroom, in the bedroom, on the microwave, on the front of your steering wheel, that my why is X. And it doesn't have to be one, ideally there's multiple, but having those whys out in front of you, it's actually a carrot stick kind of deal, where some people are more motivated by the positive thing to attain. Some people are more motivated by the negative thing, that the negative ramifications that come if you don't attain. You kind of have both going, because the positive is to be the best that you can do health-wise for your family. The negative is, if you don't, then you're not in that great a shape for it. It is kind of both. It really just depends on which one of those motivates you the most. But to remind yourself of that why every day, I think that's important, because there's going to be days that I don't feel like making the shake, or I don't feel like stop. I mean, that's just human nature.
Exactly.
But we got to get it done. So, so over the next couple of weeks, if I were to hold you accountable for one thing, be mindful of the rest. I mean, we got to work on all of this, but if we're going to work on one thing that I can hold you accountable for on a daily basis, what would you say what's the weak link? Or let's say, that's not necessarily, what's the low-hanging fruit? What's the one thing that you want to step up to the plate and swing at the most?
Make Saturday, Sunday as consistent as Monday, Friday as possible.
Okay. With your food?
With my food.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How can I hold you accountable to that?
There's a message.
Daily text.
That seems to really inspire, especially on weekends. I mean, we live in a society where everything's about instant gratification. You do good for a week, and then Saturday, Sunday comes around, and you want to go ahead and just splurge and cheat. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, you just want to make sure that you you don't feel bad the next day and you want to be consistent. So
Okay, so Omar's goal is,
my goal is to be consistent on.
well, no, but I'm sorry, I did not tee that up well. What body weight goal are we shooting for?
Oh, so I strive to be at 205 to 210. That would be one of my ultimate goals. I haven't been that weight since high school. I'm 32 years old, so I know I'll feel better, look better if I attain that. Currently at 252 pounds, so we have some work to do.
So I'm gonna throw this out to y'all, and I'm gonna throw this out to you, and if you wanna accept this challenge or not. So a recent blog that I wrote is entitled 394276, and I'll skip the first two numbers and I'll just key it on the last two. So to take a goal out of your head and get it down on paper will raise the likelihood of hitting that goal to 42%. Now, that's not to say that you can't hit a goal that's just in your head. I mean, you can, but again, you're raising the odds. I looked it up on Mother Google. I saw 42 from a variety of different places, so apparently that's a pretty good number. But I heard this from Jack Canfield, co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and that was on a YouTube video last fall. Jack said that there's so much power in working with an accountability partner. And he said it's very simple. So you have your goal, you have your accountability partner, you share the goal with them, and I think it works best on a weekly basis where you commit to your action steps that you're going to take for the next week, and then you go and do your work. And at the end of the week, you gotta spill your guts. You gotta go to confession. So we're gonna focus on this for 2 weeks. I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'll shoot you a text on a daily basis, and then we'll touch base on the weekend and see how you did. So at a week at a time. But we're also going to share that with them, and we will come back and do follow-up sessions periodically, and we'll let everyone know how you're doing. How you think about that?
I'm all for it. I'm ready to go.
Game on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your time, my friend.
Pleasure.